Hi, I'm Amber Corinne, and today I'm taking you through the educational portion of the introductory Recode. This is a process that teaches you to connect to a part of you called the superconscious. The superconscious is what created all memory, and it can treat emotion. It's not a trance, and you can actually do this work on yourself. However, it is easier and more enjoyable to have a coach do the work with you. Learning to do this presents no danger, as there are many ways that you can block treatment. You're in total control the whole time. To ensure we get all of you to work together, there is some education you need to learn once, and then after that, we'll be able to work together to make fast and easy progress. So to get started, you're made up of a main personality, but we also have many other personalities and aspects to us. When all of our aspects of our personality are working together, we can use this method to easily let go of any resistance that's stopping satisfaction in life. And we do this by connecting to our superconscious memory, which is a memory that was present before you were born and has been passed down through your family. So when you give me permission to access and connect to your superconscious, I can connect because at the superconscious level, we're one. And when I connect to the superconscious, I can access what aspects are causing resistance, and I can share commands to treat the emotion, the pain, and beliefs, and leave the wisdom. This is because the superconscious is a field of information. Let me show you what I mean. You have your own superconscious memory, and it was passed down to you from your family. I have my own superconscious field of information. And it was passed down to me from my family. My superconscious field, my family's superconscious field. You get the idea. So during a session, when you give me permission to connect to your superconscious, I actually am connecting on the superconscious level, which is the overall field of information. Because on a superconscious level, we are all one. I hope that gives you a better idea. So let's talk about our memories. We have 3 memories. A superconscious memory that's physiological, it's passed down through family, and it's a field structure that informs our cells and our DNA how to act and what to turn on. This is what we call memory number 1. We also have an unconscious memory that communicates in feelings. It runs the body and is easily trained to interpret symbols like language, and it learns through repetition. It can automate complex tasks like driving a car or playing a sport, and we refer to this as memory number 2. And we also have a self-conscious memory. That's also known as our ego, and it's our thinking brain. This is our conscious experience, and we refer to this as memory number 3. Let me show you what that looks like. If this is a timeline of your life, here's the time prior to you being born. Now we have conception, birth, four years of age, and now. Your superconscious memory was actually present before you were born. It's a field of information that informs your cells how to act and how to operate. We refer to this as memory 1. And we've also got a self-conscious or an unconscious memory. Your unconscious memory started forming sometime before your birth. This is what learns through repetition. This is what is actually having your heartbeat and your lungs breathe. It's causing your digestion to happen, your immune system to function, and it's with us throughout the rest of our lifetime. It communicates in feelings and learns through repetition. That's our memory number 2, the unconscious. We've also got our self-conscious, which is memory number 3. Our self-conscious memory is actually our ego self. It's our thinking brain and it's our conscious experience. So the active experience is what we're experiencing in the moment, and it's made up of both our self-conscious and our unconscious memories, a combination of both of these. Outside of the active experience, we have dormant memories that can be triggered into the active experience when needed. And sometimes those dormant memories are helpful, sometimes they're not. Let me show you. So if this is your active experience, you've got an unconscious side and you've also got a conscious side, that self-conscious part of your active experience. And we have different parts of our memories which are outside of our active experience. They're currently dormant. Which makes a lot of sense because we don't need to remember every single memory and every single experience that we've ever had all the time. Makes a lot of sense to have some things that are just kind of hiding outside of our active experience because we don't need them all the time. Now I'm going to ask you a question that's going to trigger a dormant memory into your active experience. Right now, this memory is dormant because I haven't asked you yet. But now I'm going to ask you, when was the last time you rode a bicycle? You may have ridden one pretty recently, or it may have been quite a while. That memory was dormant before I triggered it into your active experience by asking you that question. And now you're thinking about it, it's in your self-conscious memory, and it's no longer dormant. So the main personality starts forming at birth or sometime before, and all memory of the main personality is stored in your self-conscious memory, memory number 3. This is who is making most of the decisions. However, different parts are created through trauma or pain that disrupt the main personality and cause self-sabotage and pain. These parts can be in any of the 3 memory structures and can be awoken at any time. So that's why sometimes we do things that we don't want to do consciously, but we find ourselves doing them anyways. This is why we have feelings or memories that we don't have words for. They were possibly created while you were still inside the womb or when you were too young and you hadn't even learned to speak yet. And they're stored in our self-conscious memory, our thinking and feeling brain. So we may have access to them even though they were created before we had language. I hope this is making sense. So if the pain was too great from some of these unconscious or dormant memories, or if it was passed down from a family, the different parts of the personality can be amnesic to the main personality. Some of the parts can live in the active experience and also cause conflict with the main personality. So here, you've got your active experience. And you've got your main personality. You've also got your unconscious. And you've also got your self-conscious. So your main personality primarily resides in your self-conscious, in your thinking brain. But part of it also resides in your unconscious. And what happens is some of these traumatic parts that are outside of your main personality, and also some of these dormant memories, can be triggered into your unconscious experience. And you may not even have words for them. They might just be silently running, causing feelings or causing behaviors, and you don't quite understand why you're acting, behaving, or thinking that the way that you are. So the goal is to treat all of your parts and all of your aspects of your personality so that they can join the main personality and share all information. And we do this by removing the emotion of the memory and keeping the content. This is how we turn pain into wisdom. When I asked you about when the last time was that you rode a bicycle, it was easy for you to remember because you had an emotion attached to that experience. It's fun to ride a bicycle, and it's not something that we really think about all the time. But if you think about larger events in your life, like birthdays or that really stand out, or a wedding date, or the birth of a child, or the death or loss of a loved one, those things are pretty important pieces of our lives. I can remember exactly where I was and what I was doing when I got the news that my father passed away, because there's a heavy emotional charge that's attached to that memory. But it's harder for me to remember what I had for dinner 2 nights ago, because it wasn't anything special. I mean, I'm sure I enjoyed my meal, but there wasn't a lot of emotion attached to it. So things that have heavy emotion attached are stored in our memories. And sometimes that emotion can be intense, and that comes up, different parts of our personality come up to try and protect us from experiencing intense emotion that's uncomfortable. That's how a dormant memory or dormant part can be triggered into our active experience through a conversation, through a thought that we're thinking, through something that we're experiencing in life. All right, so now you have some understanding of the superconscious, the different memories, the different levels of memories, and the different parts of our personality. Now we're going to talk about the advantages of treatment. So first off, you're going to get more satisfaction and less pain in life. It's going to stop intrusions and losing time. That whole sense of when you've been spacing out for an hour and you look down and you're like, oh my gosh, I've eaten the whole carton of ice cream. That's an example of losing time. You'll be able to go for what you want. And when you have treatment through a superconscious recode, all the aspects and parts of you will work together at the same time, and it'll stop the main personality from hiding information from anything else. And basically, if you're working together, it's going to work out best. So we want to make sure that all aspects are part of the treatment team. Sometimes a part of you can wake up or feel like the pain is too great, or maybe that the pain will just re-traumatize the main personality. Or maybe it's just that they don't want to join the treatment team. But I want you to know that no parts die during treatment. When we do treatment, we're simply treating the emotion and keeping the wisdom. It's very important. So I just want to make sure that all parts want the treatment. If there's any part that's blocking the treatment process, could this part just talk to the superconscious, get the information that's needed, and make an informed decision? And if it's not because the pain's too great, we just treat a small part of that pain. Kind of like taking a really big boulder and chiseling off a little piece at a time. We don't want to go too far. There's no need. So if there's a belief or an issue that's stopping you from joining the treatment team and to create treatment, let's just put that up on display and treat that first so we can work together. And finally, I just want you to know that no parts of you are going to die. It's all going to be able to work together, and we just treat the emotion. So now you know some of the advantages of treatment. You get more satisfaction and less pain. You stop intrusions and takeovers. You stop losing time. All parts run the body at the same time. You stop the main personality from hiding information, and just a solid main personality works best. It's really, really much more comfortable to show up authentically in all the different aspects of your life, instead of showing up one way when you're with one group of friends and then showing up a different way with another group of friends. It's nice to be authentic in all areas. And that is one of the advantages of treatment. So now that we've talked about that, let's talk about the metaphor. This is going to teach your consciousness, your superconscious, exactly how the process works. So the superconscious will learn how to treat using an internal treatment process. No hypnosis, trance, or indirect means is necessary. And I want you to be aware or alert of what you're hearing. The treatment process is taught in this simple 20-second metaphor. The metaphor teaches the process that was actually developed by Dr. Flint, and all aspects are actually respected. So each time that we do treatment, every time that you receive a recode, we always ask permission. All right, so imagine that your brain is a football field. It's a smooth football field with no bumps on it. Here you are now, and here's your desired reality, what you would love to experience. This is a smooth playing field with no bumps. So when a phobia, So when you're starting to move from where you are now toward what you want to experience, whether it's you want to have greater health and fitness, you want to lose some weight, whether you want to change jobs or even change careers, whether you want to start a family, maybe have a child, whatever it is that you want to create, maybe you want to get married and you start dating. When those self-sabotage patterns jump up, a phobia, a negative belief, a painful memory, or a part becomes active, it moves onto the playing field. And it creates a disturbance. When that happens, a series of gopher holes or molehills pop up in a particular sequence. So that makes it hard to get from where you are to where you want to be. So we can treat the emotion, you can treat the emotion by remembering the sequence of the gopher holes and gradually smoothing over the dirt one at a time, very lightly with the feather in the remembered sequence. So the superconscious is currently now learning how to treat, just smoothing over the gopher holes one at a time with very lightly, as if with a feather, in the remembered sequence. And you just repeat this until all the holes disappear. So now the superconscious understands how to diagnose and treat a painful emotion. This is how we reduce resistance and allow you to move toward what you love more effortlessly. So now that you've gone through this training, you have all the information necessary, you've got the educational portion of this introductory recode, and you're ready for your first session. We'll see you soon. Thank you.